It's 9:22 on North Dakota Today. We're talking with Kristen Getzloff from Inspired Life Wellness Clinic about addictions and how to know if what you thought was just something you enjoyed is actually an addiction and actually is crossing the line into something that may really disrupt your life.
You got to take a good hard look in the mirror, I would think, if you're really concerned about it and wanting to ask these questions. Am I right?
Yep. It's hard to take that really good look inside of us. Sometimes we don't want to see what's going on, and we don't want to see those negative things, but it's important.
Called being in denial.
Yep.
All right, back to our list then. We've talked about the first two. Now this one, how much, how often? What do we mean by that one?
How much, how often? How much time in your day is the behavior taking? And do you find yourself saying, well, just 15 more minutes. Just, you know what, I'm going to play this video game for another hour and then I'm going to quit. And then it takes more time, and it really disrupts everything.
This kind of reminds me of how I am when I'm reading a novel.
Yes.
You know, I'll stay up till 2 in the morning because it's like, oh, I have to find out what happened.
Yeah.
But is there a difference between that and something that, like what you're describing?
And there definitely is. An enjoyable book, that can be understandable, and it's not that it happens every night. Mm-hmm. You're not using it to avoid what's going on in your life. There are some people then that do use that to escape and to avoid everything else that's going on in their life, and that's where the problem comes in.
All right, back to our list of signs you may be addicted. Cessation. Now, what are we talking about there?
This is how it makes you feel when you don't get to do the behavior.
You say, I'm going to try to stop. And
how much panic and anxiety do you feel inside not being able to? Or just saying to yourself, you know what, tonight I'm not going to sit down in front of the computer. Tonight I'm not going to go to the casino.
And your life feels empty suddenly.
Yes.
Or you're jittery.
Panic attack, and how am I going to get to do that? And then you start making excuses in your life. Well, again, back to just 15 more minutes.
And it's difficult, I think, for somebody who doesn't have the addiction to understand what's going on.
Very difficult, very difficult to understand, because, and there is a distinct difference between those people that can just take it or leave it. It doesn't matter. And then those people that end up with those panic and anxiety feelings when they don't get to do that behavior.
All right, back to the list we go. Finally, we're at number 4, I think, or 5. Yes. Disruption. What do you mean by that?
Well, this is how much the behavior disrupts your life. If you think of life like a box, and you have all of these different things that you put in it, things that you do. You have sleep, and you have work, and you have family, and then you have this behavior. And do you find yourself trying to put more and more of that behavior in there? There's only so much space, so many hours in a day, so much time that we have to do what we need to do in life. And does it start to push that other stuff away and take up more of that space?
All right. Finally, on our list here of signs you may be addicted, reverting.
What's that?
Yeah.
Reverting is how often do you look at coming back to that behavior? Is that like your default? Do you look at that when things are kind of maybe going wrong in your life, or
maybe
you have a stressor?
As a reward?
As a reward, yes.
Even though it's addictive, you may consider it to be, hey, I worked hard today and I need this.
Absolutely, and that's when it starts to become an issue. And you can have normal things. You know what? I am going to set this up. I'm going to exercise 3 times this week, and then on this day I'm going to get a pedicure, or something like that. And those are normal, everyday things that we can do to foster positive behavior.
Now, what if I notice this in, like, say, my spouse?
You can bring it up.
And here's the really dicey part,
Right. It's important, though, that to understand that if this is an addictive behavior and they're using it as a coping mechanism, that any kind of outside disruption of that is going to bring on those panic and anxiety feelings.
They may turn that on you then.
Exactly. And so to have an honest, open, frank discussion without blame, without any kind of nagging about it, just to plant those seeds. Hey, you know, you're spending a lot of time on the computer, something going on, can we talk about this, those kind of things.
Okay. All right, so talk about it with your partner, and then get some professional help. Get an objective outside opinion, such as the fine folks over at Inspired Life Wellness Clinic. They're in downtown Bismarck. There's a website, inspired-lifewellness.com. Kristen, thank you so much.
Thank you both.
Giving us something all to think about this morning.
Thank
all
you.
right.
When we come back, we're going to talk about contouring our faces.